Oh, what attracted me to Treasure was just the beautiful moments. When I first read the script, I thought, wow. I mean, the characters were so real, and the situations were so real, and there was so much emotion involved, just as you were reading it. And I really wanted to be a part of it. I really wanted to be a part of this project. So naturally, I was thrilled to get the role of Angela. I had no idea what geocaching was at first until Chris, we were talking at the Enzian Theater one day and he was explaining it to me. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. You mean they do this on their phones? And you know, I had no idea what it was. Well, when I read the script, I mean, wow, what a cool hobby, I guess. And the way he worked it in was brilliant, especially at the end, you know, with that last cache. And I think for geocachers, people who do this, for them to see a movie made about something that they do, I mean, I've never seen geocaching in a film before, you know? And I think it's something that they can look at and go, wow, yeah, we're kind of featured here. This is cool. I love creating characters, you know, and sometimes you find that the character that you are delving into has a lot of similarities. And I found that with Angela in this film. I found that a lot of her compassion and a lot of her tough love were things that came very naturally to me as a person in my daily life. So it was really fun to play that and to see how it played back on film, because that to me is kind of like, this is who I am. But then there were other aspects, you know, when I would get a little miffed, or, you know, Angela would be a little flustered because, you know, she's flirting for the first time in years. And those moments were really, really very cool. I haven't flirted in like 30 years. I mean, I've been married for all that time, so, you know, flirting with your husband versus flirting with somebody else. So playing Angela in that role, in that moment, was really, really fun. Well, I went to school at the University of Toledo for broadcast journalism. And I worked as a journalist, a producer, a reporter, a news anchor for years. And then moved here 16 years ago and began pursuing acting. I love to mess around in the garden. I'm not very good at it, but it's kind of my Zen time, you know? I don't even listen to music. I just kind of get into my own space and dig in the dirt. You know, a lot of times I think when you're watching a film, the goal, of course, is to make it look easy. If you're involved in the film, either on camera or somebody working behind the scenes, you don't want people to be caught up in what you're doing. That's not the point. So just like with many other careers, you do it because it's something that you love and it looks easy to people, you know, and they aren't thinking, oh gosh, you know, she was up all night preparing for this, or, you know, if it involves working in a soup kitchen, they aren't thinking she went to a soup kitchen and worked a shift so that she would know what she was doing. But those are the kinds of things as actors that you do, because if you don't know it personally, or something similar that you can latch onto when you're prepping for character, you're not going to bring it home. You're not going to make it look real. You're not going to have the audience buy into the fact that you're in this moment. When I was preparing for Angela, a lot of it was because we're so similar. Rebecca and Angela have so many similarities that I really didn't feel like I had to go out of my realm to be Angela. But there were certain things, you know, she runs a soup kitchen. Well, I've volunteered at soup kitchens, so I went back into that and pulled my memories and sense memory. I remember how it smelled when the food was cooking. I remember the sounds. I remember the people talking. I remember things like that, and all of those things, I spent a lot of time concentrating on those memories and putting that into my character as Angela, because, you know, like I was saying, if you don't have that to fall back on or those experiences, you would have no idea how to bring that across on the screen. You just, and it would, and the audience would know that. Well, there was a scene toward the end of the film where we are shooting off the rocket, and John and I were there. And several months later or earlier, Ainsley and Matt were in the same spot, and Chris and Mike did movie magic. They made it appear that we were all in the same place at the same time. But because we all have careers, and Ainsley's in LA, and Matt, I believe, was in Atlanta working, and John and I were here in Florida, you can't always, you know, you have to do what you have to do. But miraculously, you would never know by watching that. So I don't know if you want me to give that away or not, but
no, I think
that
that's
was
great.
fun.
But
Yeah.
that to me was, the way that came out was phenomenal. Chris is one of those directors who really gives the actors a lot of freedom. And he also allows you to, you know, when you're in a moment and you are relying on your past. For instance, when John and I were doing that scene where I have to tell him that his daughter, one of the homeless people, died in front of her, and this is a very difficult thing. For Chris to have let us go with that and finish out that scene and breathe and let it just flow was brilliant, because Angela was reacting to that moment in a way that I had prepared for that moment. And to have cut it short would have meant not allowing Angela to fulfill it. And so, and I don't know that every director would have done that. I think a lot of times it's a relief when you've got the scene and, okay, whew, we got what we wanted, cut, instead of just standing back and allowing things to happen. And Chris did that. I have so many favorite scenes in this film, but personally, one of my favorites, if not my favorite scene, is that moment when I'm flirting, because that's something that I really had to put a lot of prep into that. I don't do that. I mean, it's been years, you know, since I've flirted, and that moment between us was just, I mean, I literally had butterflies. It was there was something there. you know, that tingly sensation. And that astounded me. I mean, I think really that was one of the moments as an actor that I've had that where I surprised myself. I didn't expect to feel that way, but having prepped and then going through that scene, I was like, wow, I hope that looks on camera the way it felt. She, it's funny because she took Angela on this ride along with her, you know, where I thought, what a snoot. At first. And I thought, okay, well, we're going to set this little one straight, aren't we? But I could see something in her. I just knew there was something there. You know, this was an act. Yeah, she'd gotten into trouble, and now she was going to be really, you know, I'm tough and you can't get to me. And at that time, I didn't realize that, you know, that her character had lost her mother. But I could tell that there was something there, something underneath. And she is a very organic and layered actress in that she can allow you to feel that there was something there without giving it all away. And that's not so easy to do. I mean, she's a bubbly, you know, young woman, yet she prepped herself with what had happened to her character previously. And she was able to carry that layer underneath so that it wasn't revealed. You know, you just knew that something was there. And so as an actor, as a fellow actor, I have a ton of respect for her. I mean, she really is a young, very professional, brilliant actress. And then as just kind of a mom figure, you know, I was proud of her. I mean, you know, it was like, this girl's got it together. And the same with Matt. I mean, you know, he's a successful actor. That's another thing about this film, is that it had people in it that really take their jobs seriously and have gone on and are doing great things just since filming this. And I just think that Chris had a real good eye for the people that he cast in this. Everyone was excellent.